"Smile, will you?" my mother said, holding her phone toward me. "Adam looks perfect, but you look miserable." I forced a grin. "Sorry. Guess I'm not used to taking family pictures with my cousin every 5 minutes."
Ow.
She frowned. "Don't be rude. He's family now. Family now." Those 2 words hit harder than they should have. Adam laughed beside me. "It's okay, Aunt Claire. He's just shy." "Shy," I muttered. "More like tired of being compared to a saint." "What was that?" my father asked from the doorway. His tone made my stomach tighten. "Nothing," I said quickly. "Just talking to myself." He looked between us. "Then talk less and learn from Adam. The boy's got manners, confidence, ambition. You could use some of that." Adam smiled politely, pretending not to notice the sting in my father's words. "Uncle, you give me too much credit." Wanted to say anything, but my throat closed. It always did when they praised him. Later that night, I found Adam unpacking in my room. His clothes hung neatly beside mine, his cologne already stronger than the air itself. "You okay sharing?" he asked. "Do I have a choice?" He chuckled. "Guess not. Figures." He glanced at me. "Look, I didn't ask for this either. My parents lost the house. Your folks offered to help. I'm grateful, but it's not a competition." "Easy for you to say," I shot back. "You're already winning." Adam paused, lowering his voice. "If it makes you feel better, I don't even want all this attention." I almost believed him. Almost. The next morning, my mother called from the kitchen. "Breakfast, boys." Adam made pancakes. I blinked. "Adam made what?" He shrugged. I wanted to surprise everyone. At the table, my parents gushed over every bite. "You're a natural, Adam," my father said. "Maybe you can teach him a thing or two." He nodded toward me without even looking. "I can cook," I muttered. "When have you ever offered?" my mother asked. I clenched my jaw. "You never asked?" She sighed, as if I were the burden instead of the uninvited guest. After school, the pattern continued. Teachers praised Adam's quick answers. Friends started sitting closer to him. Even Coach called him the kind of student every school dreams of. At night, I stood by my window while Adam video called his parents. "Aunt Claire and Uncle James treat me like their own," he said, grinning. Something in me snapped. "Of course they do," I said under my breath. He ended the call and looked over. "You've been quiet all day." "I've been invisible all my life," I replied. "I'm used to it." "That's not true, really. My parents forgot I existed until you moved in." Adam rubbed the back of his neck. "Maybe they just see something in me they don't see in you." "Yeah," I said. "That's the problem." He frowned. "You think I enjoy being their favorite?" "Don't act like you hate it," I said, stepping closer. "You thrive on it. But you should stop blaming me for how they treat you." His words hit harder than he knew. I turned away, pretending I didn't care. When dinner came, my father poured Adam a glass of juice and patted his shoulder. "Proud of you, son." He'd said that word, son, so casually that I almost dropped my fork. My mother noticed the look on my face. "Don't make a scene," she whispered. I swallowed hard. "Didn't realize I was part of one." She sighed again. "You're being dramatic." "Maybe I learned it from you," I muttered. The silence afterward was heavier than thunder. That night I couldn't sleep. The glow from Adam's phone lit the room as he scrolled through. Messages from my friends laughing quietly. I finally spoke. "Do you ever stop taking things that aren't yours?" He looked up, puzzled. "What's that supposed to mean?" "You took my space." "My friends? My parents? Your parents?" he said softly. "They chose me. I didn't force them." Turned my face away so he wouldn't see my eyes burn. "You're right. They did." He didn't reply. The silence stretched until I whispered, "They called me lucky to have you. But you know what? You're the lucky one. You got everything I ever wanted." Adam exhaled, guilt flickering across his face. "Maybe one day they'll see you the way you want." Shook my head. "No. One day, they'll regret not seeing me at all." I didn't know it then. But that was the night I stopped wishing for their love and started preparing for the day I'd make them see what they'd thrown away. "Your cousin's adapting so well," my mother said, folding Adam's new shirt. He's polite, neat, helpful, everything you could learn from. I set my backpack down. Everything I could learn from. He's been here 2 weeks. 2 weeks and already fitting in, my father added. You could at least try to make him feel at home. He is at home, I muttered. More than me. My mother gave me a look. Don't start. That weekend, we went shopping for Adam. He stood in the center of the store while my parents picked jackets, shoes, and cologne for him. I followed like a ghost. Do you like this one, son? My father asked. I looked up instinctively, only to realize he was talking to Adam. Adam smiled. Yeah, it's great. Thank you, Uncle. Uncle? My father chuckled. You can call me Dad if you want. I froze. The clerk looked between us awkwardly, pretending not to hear. When we got home, I tried to bring it up. Dad, what did you mean back there? He didn't even look at me. Don't be sensitive. It's just a word. It's not just a word, I said quietly. He sighed. Adam lost his home. Let him feel like he belongs. And what about me? My mother's voice cut in. You've always had everything. Stop acting jealous. I laughed bitterly. Everything but you. The air went still. That night I sat outside on the porch. The light from inside spilled through the window. I could hear them laughing, my parents and their new son. Grandma's voice startled me. Still awake? I turned to her. Couldn't sleep. She lowered herself beside me. They mean well, you know. Your father's heart is big enough to forget I exist. She sighed. You remind him of his failures. Adam reminds him of what he wishes you were. I frowned. That's comforting. Her wrinkled hand rested on mine. Don't lose yourself trying to earn what should already be yours. Her words lingered long after she went to bed. The next morning, Uncle David and Aunt Leela visited. Their smiles looked tired. Thank you for taking care of him, Aunt Lila said tearfully. My mother smiled proudly. Adam's a blessing. He brightens the whole house. Uncle David nodded. He always brings light wherever he goes. I bit my tongue. Even when he dims someone else's. As they left, my father said, Don't worry. Adam's future is safe here. Those words stayed in my head all day. That evening, I passed by my parents' room. The door was half open. He's everything we ever wanted, my mother said softly. My father chuckled. It's like fate sent him to us, and our boy. She asked, He'll manage. He's strong in his own way. Strong? She repeated, He's distant. He doesn't try. I know, he said. Maybe if we make Adam the heir, it'll motivate him to change. I stopped breathing. Air. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. They went on talking, but I couldn't hear anymore. My mind was racing, make Adam the heir. I stumbled back into my room, my chest tight. Adam was sitting at the desk, sketching something. You okay? He asked. I stared at him, words burning in my throat. You really have everything now, don't you? He looked confused. What do you mean? They're giving you everything that's mine. I didn't ask them to. It doesn't matter. They did it anyway. He set his pencil down. Maybe they just see what you don't. I scoffed. Yeah, they see you. That's all they see. He sighed. You think I wanted this? I'd trade it all to have my parents back. I wanted to believe him, but anger drowned reason. You don't understand what it's like to be replaced while you're still standing here. He didn't answer. When I lay down that night, I stared at the ceiling until the shadows blurred. I felt something inside me twist, not just hurt, not just jealousy. It was colder than both. For the first time in my life, I didn't want their approval. I wanted justice. Hey, you're Adam's cousin, right? Someone asked as I walked into class. Yeah, I said. Why? He's awesome. Just aced the math test. Mr. Lee said he might tutor next semester. I forced a smile. Good for him. Everywhere I went, his name followed. Adam this, Adam that. Even my teachers seemed hypnotized by him. During lunch, Emily sat at our table, my table, her laugh soft and familiar. Adam, you're hilarious, she said, brushing her hair behind her ear. I looked up from my sandwich. Since when do you sit here? She smiled politely. Since Adam invited me? Right, I muttered. Of course, Adam turned to me. You don't mind, do you? Why would I? I said flatly. You've already taken everything else. He frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Emily glanced between us. You to fight like brothers. We're not brothers, I said quietly. Could have fooled me, she replied. I pushed away my tray and stood. Enjoy lunch. That night, my mother called me downstairs. Come see what Adam got. He stood there holding a framed certificate. First place in the science fair, my father said proudly, just like I used to. I congratulated him with a nod, though my hands shook behind my back. Don't look so gloomy, my mother said. You should learn from him. Did, I said. I learned being me isn't enough, she sighed. Stop being dramatic. I'm not. I'm just tired. My father stepped forward. We're doing our best for both of you. But Adam works hard. You should too. I do work hard, I snapped. You just don't notice. Silence after that said everything the next week. I overheard Emily and Adam laughing near the lockers. You know, she said softly, I used to like your cousin. Really? He asked. Yeah, but he's different now. Always angry. I didn't wait to hear the rest. I walked past them, pretending not to care. My chest burned anyway. Later that day, she caught up to me. You've been ignoring me. I didn't slow down. You've been busy. She sighed. You're not making this easy. Easy. I turned to her. You ditched me for him. It's not like that. Adam listens. He doesn't push people away, because people don't treat him like a mistake. She stared at me. You're jealous. Maybe I am, I said. But at least I'm honest about it. She folded her arms. You've changed. I had to. When I got home that evening, the dining table was covered in balloons and cake. My heart jumped. Finally, someone remembered. Then I saw the banner. Congratulations, Adam. I froze in the doorway. What's this? My mother smiled. Adam won the district award. Isn't that amazing? I swallowed hard. It's my birthday. Her face went blank. Oh, right. We'll celebrate tomorrow. Adam turned toward me, guilt flickering across his face. I didn't know. It's fine, I said, forcing a grin. Wouldn't want to ruin your big day. My father clapped his hands. Come on, don't sulk. Join us. I sat down, pretending to eat while they sang his praises. After everyone left the table, I slipped into the kitchen. The cake box sat open, 2 candles lay unused on the counter. I picked them up, staring at the soft wax. Adam stepped in quietly. You okay? Yeah, I lied. Just thinking. About what? How easy it is to disappear. He hesitated. It's not my fault. I know, I said. But somehow, I'm still the one paying for it. I lit the candles on a small leftover cupcake, whispering happy birthday to me, before blowing them out alone. That night, lying in bed, I realized something broke inside me, not loudly but cleanly, like glass cracking under pressure. I wasn't jealous anymore. I was done. The rain came down hard that night, drumming against the windows like it was trying to warn us. Let me drive, I said, grabbing the keys before Adam could. He laughed. Relax, I've got this. You don't even have a license? I reminded him. Neither did Dad when he first learned, he joked. Come on, don't be such a parent. You shouldn't. He grinned, spinning the keys around his finger. You worry too much. I sighed. Because someone has to. He winked. Then worry quietly. I should have stopped him. I knew it. But I was tired of being the voice no one heard. When he backed out of the driveway, my mother waved from the door. Drive safe, boys. Don't call the police when he crashes, I muttered. Adam laughed again, headlights flashing against the wet street. You really think I'd crash? I think you're used to getting away with everything, I said. Maybe I just know how to live. I slammed the door shut and walked back inside. He shouldn't be driving, I told my father. He's responsible, my father said. Stop trying to compete. It's not a competition. I snapped. Then let him prove himself. I threw up my hands. Fine. When something happens, don't blame me. Hours later, the knock came. Loud, relentless. The kind that freezes your veins. My mother opened the door. A police officer stood there, soaked and grim. Are you the parents of Adam Clark? My father nodded slowly. Yes. Is everything okay? The officer removed his cap. I'm sorry. There was an accident. The world went silent. What kind of accident? My mother asked, her voice trembling. The officer hesitated. The car lost control on the curve near Ridge Hill. He didn't make it, she screamed raw. Endless, breaking something inside me. I felt the room tilt. My father's face went pale, and for the first time, I saw fear in his eyes. I whispered, No, that can't be right. The officer looked at me. Were you with him? No, I said. I told him not to go. That night stretched into forever. Sirens, sobs, rain, silence. I stood by the window, staring at the empty driveway, wishing I'd taken the keys by force. When morning came, the house felt like a grave. My parents didn't speak to me. They didn't have to. Their eyes said enough. At the funeral, my mother clung to Adam's photo. He was such a good boy, she kept saying. So kind, so full of life. My father nodded numbly. He made this house shine. I stood beside them, invisible again. When people offered condolences, they barely glanced my way. After everyone left, my mother turned to me. Why didn't you stop him? I tried, I said quietly. Not hard enough, she snapped. You could have gone with him. He didn't want me to. Then you should have gone anyway. Her voice broke. You should have been there. I swallowed the lump in my throat. If I had been, we both would have died. Her eyes hardened. At least we wouldn't have lost him. That sentence carved into me like glass. My father didn't say anything. He just looked at me disappointed, hollow. I went to my room and sat in the dark. Adam's things were still there, his jacket on the chair, his cologne in the air. Every reminder screamed, you survived when you shouldn't have. Days turned to weeks. Grief didn't fade, it fermented into guilt. Every time my parents looked at me, I saw the same question burning behind their silence. Why him and not you? I stopped eating at the table. Stopped speaking unless spoken to. My mother cried herself to sleep, whispering Adam's name. My father worked later, coming home 2 walls too quiet to hold all our regret. One night, I found my mother in the kitchen, staring at the car keys on the counter. You can't keep punishing me, I said softly. She didn't look up. You think this is punishment? This is what's left. I lost him too, I said. No, she said sharply. You lost a cousin. We lost a son. I didn't argue. What was the point? Later, lying in bed, I whispered to the darkness, You were supposed to be perfect, Adam. You were supposed to fix everything. But all you did was prove I was never enough. For the first time, my tears didn't come from sadness. They came from something colder. Resolve. If they wanted a son to be proud of, I'd give them one. But it wouldn't be the way they expected. Don't touch that, my mother said sharply as I stepped into Adam's room. I was just cleaning, I said. Leave it, her voice cracked. Everything stays the way he left it. The air smelled like his cologne suite, heavy, suffocating. His trophies gleamed on the shelf. My reflection stared back from the glass, blurred and unwanted. My father appeared behind her. You don't belong in here. I live here too, I said quietly. Then act like it. Respect his memory. I am, I muttered. By remembering I still exist. He frowned. Don't start. I am not starting, I said. You just never stopped ending things with me. He turned away. You always have to argue. Maybe I did. Maybe it was the only way to be heard in a house full of ghosts. At dinner, my mother set 3 plates out instead of 2. She did it without thinking. When she noticed, she froze, then whispered, He liked this meal. I said nothing. My father broke the silence. You could learn from how he lived. Always grateful. Always kind. Always gone, I whispered. What did you say? Nothing, I said. You wouldn't listen anyway. He slammed his fork down. You think we enjoy this? You think we wanted it this way? I looked up. You act like I'm the one who killed him. My mother gasped. How dare you? I told him not to drive. I shouted. But you only remember what fits your story? The silence afterward felt endless. My father's eyes burned into me. Go to your room, gladly, I said, pushing back my chair in my room. I studied every wall, every photo, every reminder that I didn't measure up. I tried harder after that night studying until my eyes burned, working part-time jobs, volunteering. I brought home trophies, certificates, letters of praise. Each time, my mother said. Adam did it first. Each time, my father said, he made it look easier. It was like living in someone else's echo. Months passed before the letter came. The handwriting stopped me cold grandmother's loops and curls, steady and soft. She'd been gone for years. I sat on my bed, fingers trembling as I opened it. My dear boy, I know you feel unseen. But remember, light doesn't always shine where it's brightest. Sometimes it waits, patient, until the darkness clears. You have more in you than they ever saw. Don't live to replace him. Live to outgrow them. With love, Grandma. I read it twice. Then again, the words dug deep, clearing space where bitterness had lived too long. When I showed my mother, she barely looked up. She always favored you, she said, almost resentful. Maybe she just saw me, said. She saw what she wanted to see, my father replied. You're not special just because she said you were. I folded the letter and slipped it into my pocket. Maybe not. But at least someone believed it. My father exhaled. You think believing changes anything? Yeah, I said. It's the only thing that ever has. He didn't answer. He just turned away the same way he always did when my words hit too close. That night, I lay awake, holding the letter against my chest. The rain outside whispered softly, almost like her voice. For the first time since Adam died, I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I didn't beg for their approval. I just breathed, slowly, evenly, deliberately. I realized I'd been living as his shadow. But shadows only exist when there's light behind them. And maybe that light was finally mine. I got in, I whispered, staring at the acceptance email on my cracked phone screen. My mother looked up from the sink. Got in where? State University, I said, smiling. They gave me a small scholarship. 8. That's nice. Adam wanted to go there once. I swallowed hard. Yeah, guess I'll finish what he started. My father folded his newspaper. You'll need to work part-time. We can't help much, I know, I said. I'll manage, he nodded. Good, maybe college will teach you responsibility. I wanted to say I've been responsible my whole life, but I didn't. I just packed my bag, tucked Grandma's letter in the front pocket, and left home without looking back. The dorm smelled like dust and cheap coffee. My roommate snored before midnight, and the radiator rattled like it wanted to escape. I didn't care. For the first time, I had space that was mine. Hey, new guy, my classmate Ryan said one morning. You working again tonight? Yeah. Double shift at the cafe, I replied. You're crazy, man. Midterms next week. Shrugged. Bills don't care about midterms, he laughed. Fair. The nights blurred into morning school. Work, repeat. When exhaustion hit, I'd reread Grandma's letter under the weak lamplight. Don't live to replace him. Live to outgrow them. Every time I wanted to quit, those words pulled me forward. By graduation, I had a degree, a few scars, and no debt. Ryan clapped my shoulder. You did it, man. You're free. Not yet, I said. Freedom's when I don't owe anyone anything, not even my past. He grinned. Deep. You should be an architect of philosophy. I'll stick to buildings, I said, smiling for real this time. 5 years later, I stood in a glass office overlooking the city. My name, Clark Designs, was etched on the door. Boss, my assistant called. The investor's here. I turned. Send him in. A tall man entered, looking around. Impressive, he said. You're young for this. Hard work doesn't ask for permission, I replied. He smiled. I like that. Your firm's reputation is growing fast. It's only the beginning, I said. I'm not done yet. When he left, I leaned back in my chair, staring at the skyline. Every building reminded me of who I'd become, strong, deliberate, unshakable. But even in success, echoes followed me. At events, people mentioned Adam. Didn't your cousin want to be an architect too? They'd ask. I always smiled. He inspired me. That was the truth, though not the way they thought. Months later, Ryan stopped by the office. Still overworking? He asked. Always, I said, closing my laptop. You ever gonna visit home? I hesitated. Maybe. Not sure they'd want me there. He raised an eyebrow. You think they'd rather keep hating you than see what you've done? Maybe seeing it would hurt more, I said quietly. He nodded. Then do it for you. That night, I found Grandma's letter again, yellowed, creased, but whole. I traced the words, whispering, you'd be proud, wouldn't you? In the silence, I could almost hear her say, you already know the answer. A month later, I was invited to speak at a design conference. Afterward, a reporter asked, what drives your work? I thought for a moment. A promise, I said, to become someone impossible to ignore. She smiled. Sounds personal, it is. When the article was published, the title read, From Shadows to Skylines, the architect who built his own name. I framed it not for vanity, but as proof that pain could become purpose. One evening, standing alone in the office, I whispered to the empty room. You see this, Dad? Mom? This is what you created, the man you ignored. My reflection in the glass didn't look bitter anymore, just steady. I don't hate you, I said softly, but I don't need you either. The city lights flickered like quiet applause. For the first time, I wasn't chasing approval. I was living proof of my own worth. And somewhere deep inside, the boy who once begged to be seen finally smiled. The old neighborhood looked smaller than I remembered. Same cracked sidewalks, same rusted gate butt when my car stopped in front of our house. Silence filled the air like it didn't recognize me. I stepped out slowly. The engine hummed behind me, too polished for this place. The front door creaked open. My mother stood frozen, hand over her mouth. My God, it's you. Hi, Mom, I said. You look well. Her eyes darted to the car. You drive that? Yeah, I said. Bought it last year. She blinked, stunned. You've changed. I had time, I replied. My father appeared behind her, thinner, older. His voice was rough. You came back. I did. He nodded slowly. Didn't expect you would. I almost didn't. We stood there for a moment, 10 years of silence packed into one awkward pause. Come in, my mother said. Stepping aside, the house smelled like dust and old memories. Adam's picture still hung in the hallway, same smile, same frame. I glanced at it once, then looked away. Sit, my father said, motioning to the couch. We don't have much, but we've got coffee. I'm fine, I said. I didn't come for coffee. He looked uneasy. Then what for? Closure, I said. That's all. My mother sank into the armchair. You heard about the business, didn't you? I did, I said quietly. I also heard about the debt. Her voice cracked. We tried everything. Your father's partner left. The bank took the store. My father rubbed his temples. It all fell apart. I nodded. Ironic, isn't it? He glanced at me. What do you mean? The son you ignored turned out to be the only one still standing. He stiffened. That's not fair. It's true, I said. You built your world around someone who's gone. I built mine out of what you left behind. My mother's voice trembled. We didn't mean to hurt you. I know, I said softly. You just didn't care enough not to. The room went quiet. Rain began tapping on the window, soft, rhythmic, almost forgiving. Why come back now? My father asked. If you're here to gloat, you've done it. I'm not here for that, I said. I came to see if there was anything left to save. Save. He repeated, You'd help us? I shrugged. You're still my parents. My mother wiped her eyes. We don't deserve your help. Maybe not, I said. But I deserve my peace. She stared at me. You really became someone. I smiled faintly. You'd be surprised what neglect can build. My father leaned forward. You want forgiveness? No, I said. I already gave it to myself. He looked down. I don't know how to fix this. You can't, I said. You just live with it. He nodded slowly. We've been living with regret for years. Good, I said quietly. Then you understand what I felt. My mother's shoulders shook. We lost Adam, and we lost you too. You didn't lose me, I said. You gave me away. Her sobs filled the room. I wanted to hate the sound, but I couldn't. Not anymore. I stood up. You'll get a call from my assistant tomorrow. She'll handle your debts. My father looked up sharply. You'd do that for us? I'm not doing it for you, I said. I'm doing it for the kid you forgot. He deserved a family once. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. I walked to the door. My mother's voice stopped me. Will you come back again? I turned. Maybe, when I stop feeling like a stranger here. Outside, the rain hit harder, washing the air clean. I breathed deep, the city lights glinting off the hood of my car for the first time. I didn't feel small standing in front of that house. I felt finished. My mother's voice cracked over the phone. Please, come by. We need to talk. I already knew what talk meant. When I arrived, the house looked worse than before paint peeling. Curtains half drawn, the smell of damp wood everywhere. My father sat on the couch, silent. My mother's eyes were swollen from crying. Sit down, she said softly. I'll stand, I replied. She twisted her hands. The bank's taking the house. We have nowhere to go. I nodded slowly. So, you need money. My father cleared his throat. We need help. Help, I repeated. Funny word considering how much I asked for it once. He sighed. We made mistakes. Mistakes. I laughed quietly. That's what you call years of silence? My mother wiped her eyes. We were grieving. So was I said. I just didn't have anyone to cry to. Her voice trembled. We thought we were doing what's right. You thought ignoring me would fix your pain, I said. It didn't. She stood suddenly, desperate. We can't change the past, but you can help us now. Why should I? I asked because you're our son. She shouted, Now I am. I whispered. The room fell quiet, except for the faint ticking of the clock. My father finally spoke. We lost everything. Friends, business, reputation. We have nothing left. I looked around. You still have the shrine. He followed my eyes to Adam's framed photo. It's all we have of him. And what do you have of me? I asked. He didn't answer. I turned to my mother. You're asking for forgiveness, like it's owed. It's not. Tears spilled down her cheeks. No. But please don't let us end like this. For a long time, I said nothing. The anger that once burned in me felt tired. Not gone, just quiet. I remembered Grandma's handwriting, her words etched in my memory. Don't live to replace him. Live to outgrow them. I'll buy the house, I said finally. My mother froze. You will? Yes, I said. But under one condition. My father leaned forward. Anything you leave, I said. You start over somewhere new. This house dies with the past, my mother gasped. You'd throw us out? I'm giving you a chance to begin again, I said. Something I never got, her voice broke. We can't just walk away from everything. You already did once, I said quietly. When you walked away from me? She covered her face and sobbed. My father just stared at the floor, defeated. Finally he spoke. If that's what it takes, we'll go. She looked up, shocked. James, he cut her off. He's right. We can't live here anymore. Maybe we never should have. I exhaled slowly. I'll have the paperwork sent. You'll have enough to start fresh. My mother whispered, Why are you doing this? Because I'm done fighting ghosts, I said. And because I touched the letter folded in my jacket, taught me that letting go isn't weakness. Her eyes widened. Your grandmother. She saw me when no one else did, I said, and she'd want this to end without hate. My father nodded. You've become a better person than we ever were. I had to, I said simply. When I reached the door, my mother called out, Will you ever forgive us? I paused. I already have. That's why I'm leaving before I change my mind. Outside, the wind carried the faint sound of her crying, but I didn't turn back. Forgiveness didn't mean forgetting, it meant freedom. And for the first time, walking away felt like winning. I watched from the porch as their car rolled down the street. The taillights disappeared behind the curve, leaving nothing but the sound of wind and silence. My mother's last words still echoed, We'll call when we settle. But I knew they wouldn't. And for once, I didn't need them to. Ryan's voice came through the phone. So they're really gone? Yeah, I said. The house is mine now, he whistled. That's poetic. You ended up owning the place they once threw you out of. I didn't buy it for revenge, I said quietly. I bought it to bury it. Still, he said, karma doesn't get neater than that. I looked around the empty living room. The walls were bare, the air hollow. You ever realize how small a house feels when the memories inside are gone? Ryan paused. You gonna keep it? I don't think so. I'll sell it. Maybe turn it into something new. Like what? I smiled faintly. Maybe a youth center. Somewhere kids can go when no one listens to them. He chuckled. You're turning your trauma into charity now? Maybe, I said. But at least it'll mean something. After hanging up, I walked to Adam's old room, the one they'd turned into a shrine. The shelves were empty now. No trophies, no framed smiles. Just sunlight spilling across the floor. I whispered, You'd probably laugh at how it all turned out. My voice didn't shake. It didn't ache either. Just steady. I walked outside, where workers were locking up the moving truck. Everything loaded. I asked. Yes, sir, one of them replied. Where should we send it all? Storage, I said. For now, he nodded and drove off. The rumble faded, leaving quiet again. For the first time, the quiet didn't feel heavy. Later that evening, I sat in my new apartment downtown. Glass walls, open space, the city stretched below like a living map. I placed a small frame on the shelf Grandma's letter. The ink had faded slightly, but the words still burned clear. Don't live to replace him. Live to outgrow them. I smiled. I did, Grandma. I really did. The phone buzzed again. Of course. Big man, the news article dropped. What article? I asked. Local architect buys his childhood home, a story of full circle redemption. You're trending, I sighed. That's not what it was about. Doesn't matter what you meant, he said. People see what they want to see. Yeah, I said softly. They always do. After hanging up, I poured a glass of water and stared out the window. The city lights blinked back like 1,000 small stars. People called me the heir to the family name now. The irony almost made me laugh. The heir they once wished they had was gone, and somehow, I'd become what they needed all along. But I didn't care about titles. Not anymore. I thought of Adam, his grin, his charm, his downfall. For years I blamed him for taking what was mine. But now I saw it differently. He wasn't my enemy. He was just the mirror that showed my weakness, and I'd finally broken that. Reflection. My phone buzzed one last time, an email from my father. I opened it, reading each word carefully. We signed the papers. Thank you for giving us a chance. Take care of yourself. No apology. No affection. Just closure, and that was enough. I deleted the email and whispered, Goodbye, Dad. Goodbye, Mom. In the silence that followed, I felt something loosen inside, me like chains falling off one by one. I wasn't the forgotten son anymore. I wasn't the shadow of Adam, or the boy begging to be seen. I was the man who built his own name, his own peace, his own ending. I lifted Grandma's letter again and placed it on the highest shelf. Sunlight glinting off the glass. Sometimes revenge didn't destroy. Sometimes it simply proved the truth that I was always the heir they lost forever.